In which English county is Wisbech located? Cambridgeshire. Wisbech is a market town and civil parish situated in the Isle of Ely district of Cambridgeshire, England. It lies on the River Nene, historically functioning as an important inland port. Which mountain range is commonly referred to as the backbone of England? The Pennines. The Pennines are a range of hills and mountains that run through the core of northern England, stretching from the Scottish borders down to the Peak District. They are crucial for England's hydrology, acting as a major watershed. Born in 1899 and dying of cardiac arrest in 1947, this notorious figure was famously indicted for tax evasion in 1931. Who was he? Al Capone. Al Capone was a prominent American gangster who rose to infamy during the Prohibition era as the boss of the Chicago outfit. Despite numerous other crimes, he was ultimately convicted and imprisoned for federal tax evasion, marking a significant legal victory against organized crime. What is the proper scientific name for table sugar? Sucrose. Sucrose is a disaccharide composed of one molecule of glucose and one molecule of fructose. It is commonly known as table sugar and is naturally found in many plants, particularly sugarcane and sugar beets. A Shavian is an admirer of which famous playwright? George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw was an Irish playwright, critic, polemicist, and political activist who profoundly influenced Western theatre, culture, and politics. A Shavian refers to a follower or admirer of his works and ideas, known for their wit and social commentary. Which modern musical instrument was historically known as the sackbut? Trombone. The sackbut was a Renaissance and Baroque era brass instrument, considered the precursor to the modern trombone. It shared the distinctive slide mechanism and similar range, used in various ensembles and churches for its versatile sound. Which influential art movement did Pablo Picasso co-pioneer? Cubism. Cubism was a revolutionary art movement developed by Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque in the early 20th century. It broke from traditional perspective, depicting subjects from multiple viewpoints simultaneously and fragmenting them into geometric shapes. Between 1901 and 1906, which two distinct artistic periods, named after colors, did Pablo Picasso experience? Blue and Rose. Pablo Picasso's early career included the significant Blue period, 1901 to 1904, characterized by melancholic works predominantly in shades of blue and green, reflecting themes of poverty and despair. This was followed by the Rose period, 1904 to 1906, which featured warmer, brighter colors like reds and oranges, focusing on circus performers and harlequins. Which political party did Pablo Picasso join in 1944? Communist Party. Pablo Picasso, the renowned Spanish artist and co-founder of Cubism, joined the French Communist Party in 1944. His political activism, particularly his anti-war stance, was reflected in several of his works, most notably, Guernica, which depicted the bombing of Guernica during the Spanish Civil War. The term, haptic, relates to which of the five senses? Touch. Haptic perception refers to the sense of touch, encompassing all sensations experienced through the skin, muscles, and joints. It is crucial for interacting with the physical world, allowing us to perceive texture, temperature, pressure, and pain. This sense is vital for motor control and object recognition. What name is given to the negative electrode of an electrolytic cell? Cathode. In an electrolytic cell, the cathode is the negative electrode where reduction occurs, meaning electrons are gained by ions from the electrolyte. Conversely, the anode is the positive electrode where oxidation takes place. This process is fundamental to various electrochemical applications, including electroplating and the production of elements. Which substance is also known as woolly rock? Asbestos. Asbestos is a term used for a group of 6 naturally occurring fibrous silicate minerals, historically valued for their heat resistance and insulating properties. Its fibrous nature led to the nickname, woolly rock. However, its use has been largely banned due to its severe health risks, including asbestosis and mesothelioma, caused by inhaling its microscopic fibers. What animal is a large male boomer? Kangaroo. In zoological terminology, a boomer specifically refers to a large adult male kangaroo. Female kangaroos are often called flyers or does, and young kangaroos are known as joeys. Kangaroos are native to Australia and are the largest marsupials. Which species is considered the smallest ape? Gibbon. Gibbons are recognized as the smallest and most agile of all apes, native to the tropical and subtropical forests of Southeast Asia. They are known for their exceptional brachiation, arm swinging, through trees and distinctive loud calls, which they use to mark their territory. Gibbons are often mistakenly called monkeys but are true apes, lacking a tail. What name is given to areas of land in Holland that have been reclaimed from the sea? Polders. Polders are low-lying tracts of land enclosed by dikes that form an artificial hydrological entity, meaning they have no connection with outside water, except under human control. This land is typically reclaimed from a body of water, such as a lake or the sea, and is a significant feature of the Dutch landscape. What is significant about a mountain called a mesa? Flat-topped. A mesa is an isolated flat-topped hill or mountain with steep sides, common in arid and semi-arid regions. Its distinctive flat top is formed by the differential erosion of horizontal layers of rock, where a resistant caprock protects the underlying softer layers. What is the name for snow overhanging the edge of a mountain ridge? Cornice. A cornice is an overhanging mass of snow and ice formed by wind deposition on the leeward side of a ridge or peak. These formations can be extremely dangerous for climbers and hikers as they are unstable and can collapse without warning. Which Northumberland heroine was the daughter of the keeper of the Longstone Lighthouse? Grace Darling. Grace Darling was an English heroine who, in 1838, at the age of 22, rescued 9 survivors from the wrecked SS Forfarshire in a Coble, a small boat, with her lighthouse keeper father. Her courageous act made her a national celebrity and a symbol of Victorian heroism. What term is used for the vast plains of northern Asia? Steppes. Steppes are vast, flat, treeless grasslands characterized by a semi-arid climate and short growing seasons. They are found across various continents, with the Eurasian steppe, stretching from Hungary to China, being the most extensive and iconic example, particularly prominent in northern Asia. Which branch of medicine is concerned with providing artificial limbs for the human body? Prosthetics. Prosthetics is the medical specialty dedicated to the design, fabrication, and fitting of artificial limbs, prostheses, for individuals who have lost a limb due to trauma, disease, or congenital conditions. The goal is to restore function and improve the quality of life for the patient. Natalie Bennett was announced as the new leader of which political party? The Green Party. Natalie Bennett served as the leader of the Green Party of England and Wales from 2012 to 2016. Understanding the leadership and significant political figures of national parties is relevant for current affairs and political science components of competitive exams. Which renowned song was composed by Claude-Joseph Rouget de Lisle? La Marseillaise. Claude-Joseph Rouget de Lisle composed La Marseillaise in 1792. This iconic song subsequently became the national anthem of France, symbolizing the spirit and ideals of the French Revolution. Who authored the lyrics for the hymn, Jerusalem? William Blake. The words for the famous hymn, Jerusalem, are derived from William Blake's preface to his epic poem Milton, a poem *, published around 1804. It is often performed with music composed by Sir Hubert Parry. Which authority is responsible for the maintenance and management of lighthouses in Britain? Trinity House. Trinity House is the general lighthouse authority for England, Wales, the Channel Islands, and Gibraltar. It is a charitable corporation dedicated to ensuring maritime safety through the provision and management of navigation aids, including lighthouses. Which monarch was the target of the Popish plot and the Rye House plot? Charles II. King Charles II of England was the monarch targeted by both the Popish plot, 1678, a fictitious Catholic conspiracy, and the Rye House plot, 1683, a genuine Protestant scheme to assassinate him. These events are significant in understanding the political and religious turmoil of 17th century England. Who was the last Roman Catholic king of England? James II. James II was the last Roman Catholic monarch of England, Scotland, and Ireland, reigning from 1685 to 1688. His attempts to reintroduce Catholicism and his autocratic rule led to the Glorious Revolution, resulting in his deposition and the ascension of William III and Mary II. In which county is there an area called the Fylde? Lancashire. The Fylde is a coastal plain in western Lancashire, England, known for its flat topography and agricultural land. It is bordered by the Irish Sea to the west and the Forest of Bowland to the east, and includes towns like Blackpool and Lytham St Anne's. On which river does Preston stand? Ribble. Preston, a city in Lancashire, England, is situated on the north bank of the River Ribble. The River Ribble is one of the longest rivers in the northwest of England, flowing from the Yorkshire Dales to the Irish Sea. What is the administrative headquarters of East Sussex? Lewes. Lewes is the county town of East Sussex, England, and serves as its administrative headquarters. The town is historically significant, featuring Lewes Castle and a rich heritage, and plays a key role in the local governance of the county. What distinction does Henry Puyi hold? Last Emperor of China. Azan Zhao Puyi, also known as Henry Puyi, was the last emperor of China and the 12th and final ruler of the Qing dynasty. He reigned as the Shatong Emperor from 1908 until his abdication in 1912, marking the end of imperial rule in China. Which creature has a variety known as the bottlenosed dolphin? The bottlenose dolphin, Tursiops truncatus, is a common marine mammal known for its distinctive short, bottle-shaped snout. These highly intelligent and social creatures are found in warm and temperate seas worldwide and are often studied for their complex communication and behavior. What does a flag signify on an Ordnance Survey map? Golf course. On an Ordnance Survey map, a flag symbol typically represents a golf course. Ordnance Survey maps are detailed topographical maps of Great Britain, using standardized symbols to denote various features like historical sites, public amenities, and geographical elements. Which early calculating device has a name meaning, a flat surface? Abacus. The abacus is an ancient calculating tool consisting of a frame with rods on which beads slide, used for performing arithmetic operations. Its name is derived from the Greek word, abax, or the Latin, abacus, both referring to a flat surface or a tablet. What is the correct name for the lie detector? Polygraph. A polygraph, often referred to as a lie detector, is a device that measures and records several physiological indicators such as blood pressure, pulse, respiration, and skin conductivity while a person is asked and answers a series of questions. The theory behind its use is that deceptive answers will produce physiological responses that can be differentiated from those accompanying truthful answers. Which seasonal song was written by Robert Burns? Auld Lang Syne. Auld Lang Syne is a traditional Scottish folk song, renowned for its association with New Year's Eve and farewells. The lyrics were written by the celebrated Scottish poet Robert Burns in 1788, though the melody and parts of the lyrics may have been based on older folk songs. In World War II, Operation Avalanche was the Allied invasion of which country? Italy. Operation Avalanche was the code name for the Allied landings in Salerno, Italy, on September 9, 1943, during World War II. This marked the main Allied invasion of mainland Italy following the successful invasion of Sicily and played a crucial role in the Italian campaign. Who famously left from Scampton? The Dam Busters. The Dam Busters, officially known as No. 617 Squadron of the Royal Air Force, famously departed from RAF Scampton in Lincolnshire for Operation Chastise in May 1943. This historic mission involved using Barnes-Wallis's bouncing bombs to breach German dams in the Ruhr Valley during World War II. Which football club's ground was used as a prisoner of war camp until May 1945? Swindon Town. The county ground, home to Swindon Town Football Club, was notably requisitioned and utilized as a prisoner of war camp during World War II. This unusual repurposing of a sports venue for wartime efforts continued until May 1945, reflecting the extensive logistical demands of the conflict. Who is admitted annually in the Silent Change? The new Lord Mayor. The Silent Change, formerly known as the Silent Ceremony, is a traditional event in the City of London where the outgoing Lord Mayor formally hands over the insignia of office to the Lord Mayor-elect. This private ceremony at Guildhall precedes the more public Lord Mayor's show and signifies the transition of civic leadership. What opened in 1958 in Marylebone Road next to Madame Tussauds? The Planetarium. The London Planetarium opened in 1958 on Marylebone Road, adjacent to Madame Tussauds, offering the public immersive educational shows about astronomy and space. For many decades, it served as a popular attraction before undergoing renovation in 2006 to become a space-themed exhibition within Madame Tussauds. Tower Bridge was for many years the last of London's bridges before the sea. What is now? The Queen Elizabeth II Bridge. For an extended period, Tower Bridge served as the last significant road crossing of the River Thames in London before the river widened towards the sea. Today, the Queen Elizabeth II Bridge, a cable-stayed bridge forming part of the Dartford Crossing, stands as the furthest downstream road bridge across the Thames, having opened in 1991 to ease traffic. What is computer-assisted in the acronym CAD? Design. CAD stands for Computer-Aided Design, a software tool used extensively in engineering and architecture for creating, modifying, analyzing, or optimizing a design. It significantly enhances design quality, communication, and manufacturing efficiency across various industries. What is a line that joins 2 points of a circle? Chord. In geometry, a chord is a straight line segment whose endpoints both lie on a circular arc or, more generally, on any curve. The longest chord of a circle is its diameter, which passes through the center. What distinction is held by Lord Lovat dating from the year 1747? The UK's last beheading. Simon Fraser, 11th Lord Lovat, was the last person to be beheaded in Great Britain in 1747. He was executed for treason after supporting the Jacobite Rising of 1745, marking a significant historical event in British legal history. What was pioneered by scientist Francis Galton? Fingerprints in detection. Sir Francis Galton, a prominent Victorian polymath, was a pioneer in the development of fingerprinting as a method of identification. His work in the late 19th century established the uniqueness and persistence of fingerprints, laying the foundation for their use in forensic science and criminal investigations. Lake Vänern is the largest lake in which country? Sweden. Lake Vänern is the largest lake in Sweden and the third largest lake in Europe by surface area. It plays a significant role in Sweden's geography, ecology, and local economy, providing fresh water and supporting diverse wildlife. What is the capital of Sardinia? Cagliari. Cagliari is the capital city of Sardinia, an autonomous region of Italy. Located on the southern coast of the island, it is a significant port city with a rich history, serving as Sardinia's main economic and cultural hub. What name is given to the young of beavers and rabbits? Kits, kittens. The young of several mammal species, including beavers, rabbits, ferrets, and sometimes even cats, kittens, are commonly referred to as kits. This terminology is part of zoological vocabulary used to identify specific animal offspring. King Michael abdicated in 1947 from which throne? Romania. King Michael I was the last king of Romania, reigning from 1927 to 1930 and again from 1940 until his forced abdication in 1947. His abdication was coerced by the communist-dominated government, marking the end of the monarchy and the establishment of the Romanian People's Republic. Tassomancy is the reading of what? Tea leaves. Tassomancy, also known as tassiography, is a divination method that involves interpreting patterns in tea leaves, coffee grounds, or wine sediments. It is a traditional practice found in various cultures globally, particularly popular in parts of Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Which city-state led the Greek forces at the Battle of Thermopylae? Sparta. The Battle of Thermopylae in 480 BCE saw a small force of Greek city-states, famously led by King Leonidas I of Sparta, defend a narrow coastal pass against the much larger invading Persian army. Despite their eventual defeat, their heroic stand became a symbol of courage and sacrifice in the face of overwhelming odds. In which city is the Topkapi Palace located? Istanbul. The Topkapi Palace, located in Istanbul, Turkey, served as the primary residence and administrative headquarters of the Ottoman sultans for nearly 400 years, from the 15th to the 19th century. Today, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a major museum, showcasing Ottoman art, architecture, and historical artifacts. What is unique about the Duke of Athol's Highlanders? They are the only private army legally permitted in the United Kingdom. The Athol Highlanders are the private ceremonial infantry regiment of the Duke of Athol, chieftain of the Murray clan, based at Blair Castle in Scotland. This unique unit holds the distinction of being the United Kingdom's only legal private army, a status granted by Queen Victoria in 1844, allowing them to carry arms and march under their own colours. Which is considered the oldest college of the University of Oxford? University College. University College, commonly referred to as UNIV, claims to be the oldest constituent college of the University of Oxford, though its precise foundation date is debated. While it traces its origins to 1249, Merton College and Balliol College also have strong claims to being among the earliest colleges founded in Oxford. In which country are the Ribbon Falls located? USA. Ribbon Falls is a waterfall in Yosemite National Park, California, USA, famous for its impressive height and slender stream. It is one of the highest waterfalls in North America, plunging approximately 1,612 feet, 491 meters, directly above the eastern side of El Capitan. What is tachyphobia and irrational fear of? Speed. Tachyphobia is an anxiety disorder characterized by an excessive and irrational fear of speed or rapid movement. This specific phobia can manifest in various contexts, such as driving, traveling at high speeds, or even the perception of fast-moving objects. Which purported Illyrophile became Lord Mayor of London in 1397? Richard Whittington. Richard Whittington was a real historical figure who served as Lord Mayor of London 4 times, first in 1397. He is famously linked to the English folk tale, Dick Whittington and His Cat, which portrays him as an Illyrophile, cat lover, and attributes his fortune to his cat. Which familiar word is derived from the Greek for mother city? Metropolis. The word metropolis originates from the ancient Greek terms meter, mother, and polis, city. Historically, it referred to the principal city of a colony, but today it denotes a very large, significant urban area that serves as an economic, political, and cultural hub. The name of which musical instrument is German for bell play? Glockenspiel. The glockenspiel is a percussion instrument composed of a series of tuned metal bars that are struck with mallets to produce a ringing tone. Its name is derived from the German words Glocken, bells, and Spiel, play, literally translating to play of bells. What does an ethologist study? Animal behavior. Ethology is the scientific and objective study of animal behavior, primarily observed under natural conditions. This multidisciplinary field explores the evolutionary basis and biological mechanisms of animal actions, including communication, social structures, and problem solving. Which scientific endeavor is frequently abbreviated as SETI? Search for extraterrestrial intelligence. SETI stands for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, an ongoing scientific effort to detect intelligent alien life. This research primarily involves analyzing electromagnetic signals from space, particularly radio waves, for patterns that might indicate non-natural origins. What was the name of the world's first national park, created in 1872? Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone National Park, established in 1872, holds the distinction of being the world's first national park. Located primarily in Wyoming, USA, it is renowned for its geothermal features like Old Faithful geyser and diverse wildlife. What is the name of the famous opera house in Milan, opened in 1778? La Scala. Teatro alla Scala, commonly known as La Scala, is a world-renowned opera house in Milan, Italy, which opened in 1778. It is one of the leading opera and ballet theatres globally, famous for its history and premiere productions. Which London institution is based at 10 Paternoster Square? London Stock Exchange. The London Stock Exchange, LSE, is a primary stock exchange based in London, United Kingdom. It is one of the world's oldest stock exchanges and a key component of the global financial system, facilitating capital formation and trading. What is an apparatus used to measure electrical resistance? Wheatstone bridge. A Wheatstone bridge is an electrical circuit used to measure an unknown electrical resistance by balancing two legs of a bridge circuit, one leg of which includes the unknown component. It provides a precise method for resistance measurement. Where in the human body is the malleus bone located? Ear. The malleus, also known as the hammer, is one of the 3 ossicles in the middle ear. It plays a crucial role in transmitting sound vibrations from the eardrum to the incus. In which country is Lake Van, a large salt lake, located? Turkey. Lake Van is the largest lake in Turkey, situated in the country's far east. It is an endorheic salt lake, meaning it has no natural outlet and its water is consequently saline. Who was the first president of the Royal Academy of Arts, founded in 1768? Joshua Reynolds. Sir Joshua Reynolds was a prominent English painter, celebrated as the leading portraitist of his era. He was a co-founder of the Royal Academy of Arts in London and served as its inaugural president from 1768 until his demise. Which European mountain peak is known by the nickname, the meanest mountain on earth? Eiger. The Eiger is a 3,970 meter, 13,025 feet, mountain of the Bernese Alps in Switzerland. Its formidable north face is particularly renowned for its extreme technical challenges and hazards, earning it this notorious moniker among climbers. From which mountain did Moses descend, carrying the 10 Commandments? Mount Sinai. According to Abrahamic religious texts, Mount Sinai is the pivotal location where Moses received the 10 Commandments directly from God. This makes it a site of profound religious and historical significance across Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Which three Quaker families were prominent in early British manufacturing, particularly in the chocolate industry? Cadbury, Rowntree, and Fry. These Quaker families, Cadbury, Rowntree, and Fry, were pioneers in British chocolate manufacturing during the 19th and early 20th centuries. Their business practices were often influenced by their Quaker values, emphasizing employee welfare, social responsibility, and the production of alcohol-free beverages, which led them to focus on chocolate and cocoa. What is the technical term for the controlled crystallization process essential for achieving smoothness in substances like chocolate? Tempering. Tempering is a specific heat treatment process, commonly applied to chocolate, metals, or glass, to control crystallization and achieve desired properties. In chocolate, tempering ensures a stable crystal structure, resulting in a smooth, glossy finish, and a satisfying snap when broken, preventing bloom. In what unique circumstance were Olympic gold medals awarded to a team in 1924, recognizing their attempt to conquer Mount Everest in 1922, despite not reaching the summit? For their attempt to conquer Mount Everest. The 1924 Winter Olympics in Chamonix awarded Special Olympic gold medals for mountaineering to the members of the 1922 British Mount Everest expedition. This recognition honored their pioneering and heroic efforts in attempting to scale the world's highest peak, even though they did not achieve the summit. Which major harbor is recognized as the world's largest natural harbor? Sydney Harbor. Sydney Harbor, also known as Port Jackson, is a vast natural harbor located in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. It is renowned for its immense size, deep waters, and intricate network of coves and bays, making it a globally significant maritime gateway and a major tourist attraction. In which castle did King Edward II meet his final, fatal end? Berkeley Castle. King Edward II of England was notoriously imprisoned and ultimately murdered at Berkeley Castle in Gloucestershire in 1327. His death is one of the most controversial events in English royal history, often attributed to his estranged wife Isabella and her lover Roger Mortimer. Hephaestion was a close personal friend and companion of which historical king? Alexander the Great. Hephaestion was a Macedonian nobleman and general in the army of Alexander the Great. He was not only Alexander's closest companion since childhood but also his most trusted friend and a high-ranking officer, playing a crucial role in many of Alexander's campaigns. Which is the only state in the USA named after an American president? Washington. The state of Washington, located in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States, is named after George Washington, the first President of the United States. Its capital is Olympia and its largest city is Seattle. Which famous street in London houses key UK government ministries like the Ministry of Defence and the Foreign and Commonwealth Office? Whitehall. Whitehall is a street in the city of Westminster, London, famous for housing numerous UK government departments and ministries, including the Ministry of Defence, the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, and the Cabinet Office. It is often used as a metonym for the British civil service and government itself. Known as La Superba, the Proud One, which major seaport serves as the capital of the Liguria region in Italy? Genoa. Genova in Italian, is a historic port city and the capital of the Liguria region in northwest Italy. It has been a significant maritime power for centuries, earning it the moniker, La Superba, due to its rich history, impressive architecture, and influential role in trade. What is the largest lake in Italy? Lake Garda. Lake Garda, Lago di Garda, is the largest lake in Italy, located in northern Italy, about halfway between Brescia and Verona, and between Venice and Milan. It is a popular tourist destination, known for its clear waters and picturesque surroundings. Which strait separates the island of Sicily from mainland Italy? Straits of Messina. The Strait of Messina is a narrow passage of water that connects the Ionian Sea in the south with the Tyrrhenian Sea to the north, separating the island of Sicily from the southern tip of the Italian mainland, Calabria. It is approximately 3.2 kilometers, 2 miles, wide at its narrowest point. Corundum, widely utilized as an abrasive, is a crystalline form of an oxide of which metal? Aluminium. Corundum is a crystalline form of aluminium oxide, Al2O3, and is one of the hardest naturally occurring minerals, second only to diamond. Its hardness makes it an excellent abrasive, and it is also known for its gem varieties like ruby, red corundum, and sapphire, blue or other colors. What is the most commonly used alloy of copper and tin? Bronze. Bronze is an alloy primarily composed of copper, usually with tin as the main additive. It is known for its strength and corrosion resistance, making it suitable for various applications, from sculptures to industrial parts. Historically, it defined the Bronze Age. Which Benjamin Britten opera is based on a short novel by Herman Melville? Billy Budd. Billy Budd is an acclaimed opera by British composer Benjamin Britten, first performed in 1951. It is based on Herman Melville's novella of the same name and explores themes of innocence, injustice, and moral ambiguity within the confines of a British warship. Where in the world are the Pensacola Mountains? Antarctica. The Pensacola Mountains are a major group of mountains located in the Queen Elizabeth Land region of Antarctica. They stretch for approximately 450 kilometers and include several prominent ranges such as the Neptune Range and the Forrestal Range, making them a significant geographical feature of the continent. In which East Coast English seaside town will you find the so-called Spanish City? Whitley Bay. The Spanish City is an iconic Grade II listed building in Whitley Bay, a seaside town on England's northeast coast. Originally built in 1910, it served as an entertainment complex with a concert hall, ballroom, and restaurants, and has recently undergone extensive restoration, reopening in 2018. Sable is the correct name for which color in heraldry? Black. In heraldry, sable is the traditional term for the color black. It is one of the 7 principal colors, tinctures, used in coats of arms, alongside gold, argent, silver, gules, red, azure, blue, vert, green, and purple. What is the primary diet of the osprey? Fish. Ospreys, Pundion halitus, are specialized piscivores, meaning their diet consists almost exclusively of fish. Their unique physical adaptations, such as reversible outer toes and barbed talons, make them highly efficient fish catchers in various aquatic environments worldwide. To which mammalian order do shrews and moles belong? Insectivora. Shrews and moles are classified under the order Insectivora, which translates to insect eaters. This order comprises a diverse group of small, generally nocturnal mammals primarily known for their diet of insects and other small invertebrates, playing an important role in various ecosystems. What is the geographical term for a ring-shaped coral island encircling a lagoon? Atoll. An atoll is a ring-shaped coral reef, island, or series of islets that nearly or entirely encloses a lagoon, typically found in tropical oceans. Atolls form over volcanic islands that have subsided, with the coral reef continuing to grow upwards around the sinking island. In which English county is Chequers, the country residence of the Prime Minister, located? Buckinghamshire. Chequers is the official country residence of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, located near Ellsborough in Buckinghamshire, England. It was gifted to the nation in 1917 for the use of future prime ministers and serves as a retreat and venue for informal meetings. Which elite military force was founded by David Stirling? The Special Air Service, SAS. The Special Air Service, SAS, is a special forces unit of the British Army, established in 1941 during World War II. It was founded by Colonel David Stirling to conduct commando operations behind enemy lines, primarily in North Africa. Which bird, recognized as a national symbol of France, is prominently featured on the jerseys of the country's national rugby team? The Gallic rooster, cockerel. The Gallic rooster, or coq gaulois, is an unofficial national symbol of France, deeply embedded in French culture and history. It has been associated with the French nation since the Middle Ages and frequently represents the country, especially in international sporting events. What is the collective term for the traditional authors of the four canonical Gospels in the New Testament? Evangelists. The term, evangelists, collectively refers to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, who are traditionally credited with writing the four canonical Gospels of the New Testament. These texts provide the primary accounts of the life, ministry, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. What is the primary structural polysaccharide that constitutes the cell walls of plants? Cellulose. Cellulose is a complex organic compound, specifically a polysaccharide, and is the most abundant organic polymer on Earth. It forms the primary component of the cell walls in green plants, providing essential structural support and rigidity to plant tissues. What are continental, mountain, and Piedmont types of glaciers? Glaciers are massive, slow-moving bodies of ice formed from compacted snow. They are classified into types such as continental, vast ice sheets, mountain, found in high mountainous regions, and Piedmont, spreading out at the foot of mountains. What is the term for the process of clarifying beer or wine? Fining. Fining is a process used in brewing and winemaking to remove suspended particles, yeasts, and proteins that can cause haziness. It involves adding fining agents, which bind to the undesirable particles and settle them out. Which French designer is credited with creating the little black dress in the 1920s? Coco Chanel. Coco Chanel, a pioneering French fashion designer, revolutionized women's fashion in the early 20th century. Her introduction of the little black dress in the 1920s transformed it into a versatile and enduring staple of modern wardrobes, symbolizing elegance and simplicity. What is the British monarch's official residence in Scotland? Holyrood House. The Palace of Holyrood House, commonly known as Holyrood House, is the official residence of the British monarch in Scotland. Located at the foot of the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, it has served as the principal royal residence in Scotland since the 16th century and is a site of significant historical events. What name did the Germans use for the Polish port city of Gdansk? Danzig. Gdansk is a historic port city on the Baltic coast of Poland. Historically, it was known as Danzig, particularly during periods of German influence and control. The city's status as the Free City of Danzig was a significant point of contention leading up to World War II. What term is used for organisms, such as earthworms, that possess both male and female reproductive organs? Hermaphrodites. Hermaphroditism is a biological condition in which an organism possesses functional reproductive organs of both sexes. Earthworms are a common example of simultaneous hermaphrodites, meaning they have both male and female gonads simultaneously. Which neopagan religion is frequently referred to as witchcraft or the craft? Wicca. Wicca is a modern pagan, witchcraft religion that emerged in England in the mid-20th century. It emphasizes reverence for nature, the worship of a goddess and a god, and the practice of ritual magic. It is often described as a diverse and decentralized religion. What activity primarily occurred in the triclinium of a Roman house? Dining. The triclinium was a formal dining room in an ancient Roman house. It was typically furnished with 3 couches, laccia, arranged in a U-shape around a central table, where Romans would recline to eat their meals, reflecting their social customs and hospitality. What religion was accepted in the Roman Empire in AD 313 by the Edict of Milan? Christianity. The Edict of Milan, issued by Emperors Constantine I and Licinius in AD 313, granted religious toleration throughout the Roman Empire. This proclamation officially ended the persecution of Christians, allowing them to practice their faith freely. Which term is used for a painting or sculpture of Mary supporting the body of the dead Christ? Pietà. A pietà is a subject in Christian art depicting the Virgin Mary cradling the dead body of Jesus Christ, most famously sculpted by Michelangelo. This theme emphasizes Mary's sorrow and compassion, and it became particularly popular during the Renaissance. What was invented and first described by Dr. Ludovic Zamenhof in 1887? The language Esperanto. Esperanto is the most widely spoken constructed international auxiliary language, created by L. Zamenhof in 1887. His intention was to create an easy-to-learn, politically neutral language to foster peace and international understanding. Arthur Wynne of Liverpool invented which popular puzzle in 1913? The crossword puzzle. The first modern crossword puzzle was published by Arthur Wynne in the New York World newspaper on December 21, 1913. Originally called a word cross puzzle, it quickly gained popularity and became a staple in newspapers worldwide. Which organization refers to God as the great architect of the universe? Freemasons. Freemasonry, a fraternal organization, uses the term the great architect of the universe, GAOTU, as a non-denominational reference to God. This inclusive term allows members of various monotheistic faiths to share a common spiritual framework within the fraternity. In Sikhism, men typically take the last name Singh. What name do women typically take? Kaur. In Sikhism, women traditionally take the last name Kaur, meaning princess, while men take the last name Singh, meaning lion. This practice was introduced by Guru Gobind Singh to promote equality and dismantle the caste system by removing traditional family names. Which term is commonly used for members of the Unification Church? Moonies. The term, Moonies, is a common, often pejorative, nickname used to refer to members of the Unification Church, founded by Reverend Sun Myung Moon. While widely recognized, the term is generally considered informal and can carry negative connotations. What mysterious ship was found in 1872 in the Atlantic with no one on board, but its cargo secure? Mary Celeste. The Mary Celeste was a brigantine found abandoned and derelict in the Atlantic Ocean in 1872, with all its crew and passengers missing but its cargo largely intact. This enduring maritime mystery has fueled numerous theories and remains one of history's most baffling unsolved cases. Which element is basic to all organic chemistry? Carbon. Carbon is the fundamental element in all organic chemistry, known for its ability to form stable bonds with itself and other elements. This unique property allows carbon to create a vast array of complex molecules essential for life. Which Dickens novel features the Gordon riots? Barnaby Rudge. Barnaby Rudge is a historical novel by Charles Dickens, published in 1841. It is set during the Gordon riots of 1780, a series of anti-Catholic protests in London, providing a vivid depiction of socio-political unrest in 18th-century Britain. Who invented the lightning conductor after conducting a famous kite experiment during a storm? Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin, an American polymath, invented the lightning rod in the mid-18th century. His famous kite experiment in 1752 demonstrated that lightning is a form of electricity, leading to the development of this crucial device for protecting structures from lightning strikes. In which county of Northern Ireland is the Giant's Causeway located? County Antrim. The Giant's Causeway is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located on the coast of County Antrim in Northern Ireland. It is a spectacular natural formation of over 40,000 interlocking basalt columns, primarily resulting from an ancient volcanic eruption. Which famous bridge is considered part of the M180 motorway in the United Kingdom? Humber Bridge. The Humber Bridge is a long-span suspension bridge in England, connecting the East Riding of Yorkshire and North Lincolnshire. Opened in 1981, it was the longest single-span suspension bridge in the world for 16 years and forms a crucial link in the regional transport network, integrated into the M180 motorway. In which year did the Great Exhibition, the world's first international exhibition, take place in London? 1851. The Great Exhibition of the Works of Industry of All Nations, commonly known as the Great Exhibition, was held in Hyde Park, London, in 1851. Housed in the Crystal Palace, it showcased the industrial, cultural, and scientific achievements of nations worldwide and symbolized the peak of British industrial prowess. In which city can the Rembrandt House Museum be visited? Amsterdam. The Rembrandt House Museum is located in Amsterdam, Netherlands, in the former residence and studio of the famous Dutch Golden Age painter Rembrandt van Rijn. It offers insights into his life, work, and the artistic environment of 17th century Amsterdam. Haneda Airport, one of the busiest airports globally, serves which major city? Tokyo. Tokyo International Airport, commonly known as Haneda Airport, is one of the two primary airports serving the Greater Tokyo area in Japan. It is consistently ranked among the world's busiest airports, serving as a major hub for both domestic and international flights. What was the name given to the Tunisian revolt that initiated the Arab Spring? The Jasmine Revolution. The Jasmine Revolution refers to the popular uprising in Tunisia that began in December 2010 and led to the overthrow of President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali. It is widely considered the catalyst for the broader Arab Spring movements across the Middle East and North Africa. Which square in Cairo was the central point of the Egyptian Revolution? Tahrir Square. Tahrir Square, located in downtown Cairo, became the focal point of the 2011 Egyptian revolution. Millions of protesters gathered there to demand the resignation of President Hosni Mubarak, making it a symbol of public protest and political change. In which country did significant protests erupt at the Pearl Roundabout during the Arab Spring? Bahrain. The Pearl Roundabout in Manama, Bahrain, was the epicenter of the 2011 uprising in the country, inspired by the broader Arab Spring. Protesters used the roundabout as a central gathering point to demand political reforms, before it was violently cleared and subsequently demolished. What was the widely known nickname of Ali Hassan al-Majid, who was executed in 2010? Chemical Ali. Ali Hassan al-Majid, a cousin of Saddam Hussein, was a high-ranking Iraqi Ba'ath Party official infamous for his brutal suppression of dissent. He earned the moniker, Chemical Ali, for his role in the Al-Anfal campaign, which included the use of chemical weapons against Kurdish civilians in the late 1980s. Anosmia refers to the loss of which sensory function? Sense of smell. Anosmia is the partial or complete inability to smell. It can be caused by various factors, including nasal obstructions, head injuries, viral infections, like COVID-19, or neurological conditions. The sense of smell plays a crucial role in detecting hazards and appreciating the flavor of food. Which prominent world leader is married to quantum chemist Joachim Sauer? Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel, the former Chancellor of Germany, is married to Joachim Sauer, a distinguished quantum chemist and professor. Sauer largely maintained a private life during Merkel's chancellorship, but his academic background is often noted alongside her political career. In the context of British politics at Westminster, what is the full form of the abbreviation, SPAD? Special Advisor. In the UK government, a SPAD, or Special Advisor is a temporary civil servant appointed by a minister. Their role is to provide political and policy advice, assist with media relations, and support the minister's agenda, distinct from permanent civil service roles. According to Voltaire, who was executed to encourage the others? Admiral Byng. Admiral John Byng was a British naval officer court-martialed and executed in 1757 for failing to do his utmost to relieve the besieged Minorca during the 7 Years' War. Voltaire famously commented on his execution, suggesting it was pour encourager les autres, to encourage the others, a cynical remark on the severity of the punishment intended to motivate other officers. A plant termed a halophyte has adapted to life in which type of conditions? Saline, salty. Halophytes are plants that can tolerate and thrive in soils with high salt concentrations, such as those found in salt marshes, mangroves, and coastal regions. They have developed various physiological adaptations, like salt glands or succulents, to manage the osmotic stress and toxicity caused by salinity. What do scandent plants do? Climb. Scandent plants are a type of climbing plant that uses various mechanisms to ascend, such as tendrils, twining stems, or adventitious roots. This growth habit allows them to reach higher light levels and compete effectively in dense vegetation, characteristic of many tropical and subtropical ecosystems. What was the first of the 10 plagues of Egypt? The Plague of Blood. The 10 plagues of Egypt, as recounted in the book of Exodus, were a series of calamities inflicted upon ancient Egypt by God to compel Pharaoh to release the Israelites from slavery. The first plague involved all the water in Egypt, including the Nile River, turning into blood, rendering it undrinkable and killing aquatic life. Who made a golden calf from the people's melted down jewelry? Aaron. In the biblical narrative from the book of Exodus, while Moses was on Mount Sinai receiving the 10 Commandments, the Israelites grew impatient and asked Aaron, Moses' brother, to make them gods. Aaron collected their golden jewelry and fashioned a golden calf for them to worship, an act of idolatry that greatly angered Moses upon his return. Which Shakespearean play was set in Ephesus, likely in the 14th century? The Comedy of Errors. The Comedy of Errors is one of William Shakespeare's earliest farces, known for its complex plot involving mistaken identities among two sets of identical twins. The play is set in the ancient Greek city of Ephesus, a major trading hub in the Roman Empire. Which Shakespearean play was set in Nava, likely in the 14th century? Love's Labour's Lost. Love's Labour's Lost is an early comedy by William Shakespeare, characterized by its elaborate wordplay and intellectual humor. The play is set in the kingdom of Nava, where the king and his three companions swear an oath to devote themselves to study and abstain from women for 3 years. Which 19th century prime minister is the only one to have served 4 terms? William Gladstone. William Gladstone was a towering figure in British politics, serving as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for 4 separate terms between 1868 and 1894. A prominent liberal statesman, he was known for his extensive reforms and significant impact on Victorian-era governance. Where is Europe's largest open-air theatre located? Scarborough, UK. The Scarborough Open Air Theatre in the United Kingdom holds the distinction of being Europe's largest open-air theatre. Originally constructed in 1932, it underwent a major refurbishment and reopened in 2010, regularly hosting major musical concerts and performances. What type of creature is a monarch? A butterfly. The monarch is a well-known species of butterfly, scientifically named Danaus plexippus, instantly recognizable by its vibrant orange and black wing patterns. It is famous for its remarkable long-distance annual migration across North America. What is the largest species of monkey? The mandrill. The mandrill, Mandrillus sphinx, is recognized as the largest species of monkey in the world, notable for its distinctively colored face and impressive size. Native to the tropical rainforests of West Central Africa, mandrills are primarily ground-dwelling and omnivorous. The author of The Snowman also wrote which novel about a nuclear attack? When the Wind Blows. Raymond Briggs, celebrated for his heartwarming children's book, The Snowman, also penned When the Wind Blows, a poignant graphic novel. This work depicts an elderly British couple's struggle and eventual demise following a nuclear attack, offering a stark commentary on nuclear warfare. From which Shakespeare play does the phrase, Brave New World, originate? The Tempest. The phrase, Brave New World, originates from William Shakespeare's play *The Tempest*, spoken by Miranda in Act 5, Scene I. It reflects wonder and awe at the unknown, often ironically used to describe a technologically advanced but dehumanizing society. Which novel opens with the diary of Jonathan Harker? Dracula. Bram Stoker's Gothic horror novel Dracula *, published in 1897, famously begins with the diary entries of solicitor Jonathan Harker as he travels to Transylvania. This epistolary style provides a personal and immediate perspective on the unfolding supernatural events. What is the official language of Mozambique? Portuguese. Portuguese is the official language of Mozambique due to its history as a Portuguese colony. It is widely used in government, education, and media, though numerous indigenous languages are also spoken throughout the country. What is the official language of Brunei? Malay. Malay is the official language of Brunei Darussalam, reflecting its cultural ties to the Malay archipelago. The language is essential for official communications and is taught in schools, although English is also widely used in business and education. What is the official language of Cambodia? Khmer. Khmer is the official language of Cambodia and is spoken by the majority of the population. It is part of the Mon Khmer family of languages and has a rich literary tradition, including ancient inscriptions and classical works. Which president abolished racial segregation in the armed forces and the civil service? Harry Truman. President Harry S. Truman issued Executive Order 9981 in 1948, abolishing racial segregation in the United States Armed Forces. This landmark decision was a crucial step in the civil rights movement and set a precedent for desegregation efforts across the nation. To within 5 years, in which year was Mahatma Gandhi born? 1874-1884. Mahatma Gandhi, a pivotal figure in India's independence movement, was born on October 2, 1869. His philosophy of nonviolent civil disobedience profoundly influenced global civil rights movements. Which method of execution, involving strangulation, was formerly the official method in Spain? Garrote. The garrote is a method of execution by strangulation, historically prominent in Spain and its colonies. It typically uses a device to tighten a metal band around the neck, causing asphyxiation or cervical fracture, and was abolished in 1978. Whose arrival at official events is traditionally announced by playing, "Hail to the Chief." The President of the USA. Hail to the Chief is the official presidential anthem of the United States, played to announce the arrival or presence of the president. Its use dates back to the early 19th century, serving as a formal musical salute to the head of state. In Greek mythology, which nymph was cursed to only repeat the last word spoken to her and eventually faded away until only her voice remained, due to unrequited love for Narcissus? Echo. In Greek mythology, Echo was an Oread nymph who fell in love with Narcissus. Cursed by Hera to only repeat the last word spoken to her, she wasted away from sorrow when her love was unrequited, until only her voice remained. Which Australian state entirely surrounds the Australian Capital Territory, ACT? New South Wales. The Australian Capital Territory, ACT, is a landlocked federal territory in southeastern Australia. It was carved out of New South Wales in 1908 to house the nation's capital, Canberra, and remains entirely surrounded by New South Wales. Which city in Yorkshire, England, is often referred to as being built on 7 hills, similar to Rome? Sheffield. Sheffield, a major city in South Yorkshire, England, is famously known as the City of 7 Hills, due to its undulating topography. This characteristic is often compared to Rome, which is also built on 7 hills. According to historical and linguistic consensus, which language is widely believed to have been the mother tongue of Jesus? Aramaic. Aramaic was a Semitic language that was the lingua franca of the Near East from the 6th century BCE until the Muslim conquests of the 7th century CE. It is widely accepted by historians and linguists that Jesus spoke a Galilean dialect of Aramaic. Which type of road crossing allows both pedestrians and bicycles to cross simultaneously? Toucan crossing. A toucan crossing is a type of pedestrian crossing designed to accommodate both pedestrians and cyclists. The name is a pun, suggesting two can cross at the same time, unlike a pelican or puffin crossing which primarily cater to pedestrians. What does a road sign featuring a red circle with a red diagonal cross on a blue background signify? No stopping. This specific road sign universally indicates no stopping. It prohibits vehicles from stopping in the designated area for any reason, even for brief periods to pick up or drop off passengers, ensuring clear traffic flow and safety. Who was the jester to the Duke of Mantua in Verdi's famous opera? Rigoletto. Rigoletto is the titular character in Giuseppe Verdi's acclaimed 1851 opera. He serves as the Duke of Mantua's cynical and deformed court jester, whose actions inadvertently lead to a tragic outcome for his daughter, Gilda. In which opera do the characters Mimi and Rodolfo fall in love? La Bohème. Mimi and Rodolfo are the central romantic figures in Giacomo Puccini's renowned opera, La Bohème, which premiered in 1896. Their poignant love story unfolds amidst the bohemian life of struggling artists in 19th-century Paris. Who composed the opera, Pelléas et Mélisande? Claude Debussy. Claude Debussy, a leading figure of Impressionist music, composed the opera, Pelléas et Mélisande. Premiering in 1902, it is his only complete opera and is celebrated for its unique, atmospheric score and symbolist libretto. In which English county is Eton College located? Berkshire. Eton College, one of the United Kingdom's most prestigious independent boarding schools, is situated in Eton, within the county of Berkshire. Founded in 1440 by King Henry VI, it has a rich history of educating prominent figures. From which country did the duffel coat originate? Belgium. The duffel coat, known for its distinctive toggles and woolen fabric, originated in the Belgian town of Duffel, which gave its name to the material. It gained widespread recognition after being adopted by the British Royal Navy during the World Wars. What was created by the Limehouse Declaration of 1981? The SDP. The Limehouse Declaration, issued in 1981 by 4 senior Labour Party figures, was a pivotal moment in British political history. This statement articulated a vision for a new Social Democratic Party, directly leading to the formation of the Social Democratic Party, SDP. This event marked a significant split within the Labour Party. Which country is home to the majority of species of bird of paradise? New Guinea. New Guinea, an island comprising Papua New Guinea and parts of Indonesia, is renowned as the primary habitat for the majority of the world's bird of paradise species. These birds are celebrated for their spectacular, iridescent plumage and elaborate courtship displays, making them a significant part of the region's biodiversity. The New Zealand kea is known for attacking sheep. What kind of bird is it? Parrot. The kea is a large species of parrot endemic to the alpine regions of the South Island of New Zealand. Unique as the world's only alpine parrot, it is known for its high intelligence, curiosity, and sometimes unusual and destructive behavior, including scavenging and occasionally attacking sheep. In which stretch of water was HMS Amethyst fired on and detained in 1949? Yangtze River. The Amethyst incident occurred in April 1949 during the Chinese Civil War, when the British frigate HMS Amethyst was fired upon by the People's Liberation Army while on the Yangtze River. The ship was subsequently detained for 101 days, triggering a significant international diplomatic and military crisis. Which ship was hijacked by Palestinian terrorists in the Mediterranean in 1985? Achille Laure. The Achille Laure hijacking was a terrorist incident that took place in October 1985 when the Italian cruise ship was seized by members of the Palestine Liberation Front, PLF, in the Mediterranean Sea. The crisis involved the murder of an American passenger and subsequent complex international diplomatic and military interventions. What is the alternative name for Japanese green horseradish? Wasabi. Wasabi, commonly known as Japanese green horseradish, is a plant belonging to the Brassicaceae family, which also includes mustard and horseradish. Its rhizome is grated to produce a paste with an extremely pungent and fiery flavor, traditionally served as a condiment with sushi and sashimi. Which is the traditional English dish of pork trimmings and pig's head? Brawn. Brawn, also widely known as head cheese, is a traditional English and European terrine or meat jelly made from the flesh of a pig's head, often incorporating trotters and other trimmings. The meat is cooked until tender, then typically set in its natural gelatinous aspect and served cold. Charles Moore is the official 2013 biographer of which prominent political figure? Margaret Thatcher. Charles Moore is a distinguished British journalist and biographer. His multi-volume biography of Margaret Thatcher, former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, is considered a definitive account of her life and political career, drawing on extensive personal archives and interviews. John Swift Nick Neveson found notoriety as what? Highwayman. John Neveson, famously known as Swift Nick, was a notorious 17th-century English highwayman. He gained legendary status for a supposed lightning-fast ride from Kent to York, a feat that made him a figure in English folklore and criminal history. The golden wattle is one of the national symbols of which country? Australia. The golden wattle, Acacia pigmenta, is the official national floral emblem of Australia, formally proclaimed in 1988. Its vibrant yellow blossoms and green foliage reflect Australia's national colours and symbolize the nation's resilience, unity, and distinct landscape. For what does the acronym CAD stand? Computer-Aided Design. CAD stands for Computer-Aided Design, a technology that utilizes computer systems to assist in the creation, modification, analysis, or optimization of a design. It is a fundamental tool across engineering, architecture, and manufacturing industries for enhancing design efficiency and precision. Which tree is sometimes called the false plane? Sycamore. The sycamore tree, Acer pseudoplatanus, is often referred to as the false plane, due to the morphological similarity of its leaves to those of the true plane tree, Platanus. Native to Central Europe and Western Asia, it is a significant deciduous tree valued for its timber and widespread use in landscaping. Dying aged 28, who is considered the first great white jazz musician? Bix Beiderbecke. Leon Bismarck, Bix Beiderbecke was an American jazz cornetist, pianist, and composer, recognized as one of the most influential early jazz soloists. Despite his untimely death at 28, his lyrical and sophisticated playing style left a profound and lasting impact on the development of jazz music. What was the stage name of jazz pianist Ferdinand Joseph Lamotte? Jelly Roll Morton. Ferdinand Joseph Lamotte, universally known by his stage name Jelly Roll Morton, was an American ragtime and early jazz pianist, bandleader, and composer. He played a pivotal role in the transition of jazz from ragtime into a more structured and improvisational art form. Who was the leader of the famous Creole jazz band, which first performed in 1922? King Oliver. Joe King Oliver was an influential American jazz cornet player and bandleader, celebrated for his role in developing the early New Orleans jazz sound. His Creole jazz band, which first performed in 1922, was a significant ensemble of the era and famously included a young Louis Armstrong. Which animal species include burchels and greaves? Zebra. Burchell's zebra, Equus quagga burchelli, and Greavy's zebra, Equus greavy, are distinct species or subspecies of zebra, primarily differing in their stripe patterns, ear size, and geographical distribution. Greavy's zebra is larger with narrower stripes and is an endangered species. What characteristic behavior does a raccoon exhibit with its food before consumption? It appears to wash it. Raccoons are known for their habit of washing food, often submerging it in water before eating. While this behavior may aid in softening food or identifying inedible parts, it is also observed even when water is not available, suggesting it might be an instinctive tactile exploration. Which mammal possesses the unique ability to kneel on all four limbs? Elephant. Elephants are among the few mammals that can effectively kneel on all four legs, a posture they adopt for various reasons including resting, lowering themselves to drink, or feeding on ground vegetation. This ability is facilitated by their powerful leg muscles and flexible joints. Which major international multi-sport event was held in Sochi in February 2014? Winter Olympics. The 2014 Winter Olympics, officially known as the 22nd Olympic Winter Games, were held in Sochi, Russia, from February 7 to 23, 2014. These games were notable for being the first Winter Olympics hosted by Russia and were one of the most expensive Olympic Games in history. Which is the USA's Hawkeye state? Iowa. Iowa is known as the Hawkeye State, a nickname that dates back to the 1830s. It is believed to honor the legendary Native American chief Black Hawk and was popularized by James G. Edwards, editor of the Fort Madison Patriot. Which poet wrote the Pied Piper of Hamelin? Robert Browning. Robert Browning, a prominent Victorian poet, wrote The Pied Piper of Hamelin, a child's story, in 1842. This narrative poem retells the medieval German legend of the town of Hamelin, where a piper rids the town of rats but then exacts a terrible revenge when the townspeople refuse to pay him. Which is the USA's prairie state? Illinois. Illinois is commonly referred to as the prairie state, due to its historical landscape dominated by vast prairie ecosystems. This nickname reflects the state's natural heritage and its significant agricultural plains. In which Cypriot town will you find the Tomb of the Kings? Paphos. The Tomb of the Kings is a large ancient necropolis located in Paphos, Cyprus, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Dating back to the 4th century BC, it features impressive underground tombs carved out of solid rock, believed to be the burial sites of prophetic aristocrats and high-ranking officials rather than kings. What was the earlier, fuller title for the room that became known as the drawing room? The withdrawing room. The term, drawing room, is an abbreviation of withdrawing room. Historically, it was a room in a large house where the owner, his wife, or guests could withdraw after dinner to a more private space away from the general company or servants. Which planet in the solar system is closest in size to Earth? Venus. Venus is often referred to as Earth's sister planet because it is very similar in size, mass, and bulk composition. With a diameter of about 12,104 kilometers, it is only slightly smaller than Earth's diameter of 12,742 kilometers. Which form of textile making uses knots rather than weaving or knitting? Macrame. Macrame is a form of textile produced using knotting techniques rather than weaving or knitting. Its primary knots are the square knot and forms of hitching, full hitch and half hitch. It is often used to make decorative items such as wall hangings, plant hangers, and clothing. In which African country is Timbuktu located? Mali. Timbuktu is an ancient city in Mali, West Africa, renowned for its historical role as a trading post on the Trans-Saharan caravan route and is a center of Islamic scholarship during the 15th and 16th centuries. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, famous for its mud brick architecture and numerous manuscripts. What was the nationality of U Thant? Burmese. U Thant served as the third Secretary General of the United Nations from 1961 to 1971. He was a Burmese diplomat who played a crucial role during the Cuban Missile Crisis and established several UN development agencies, making him a significant figure in international relations. Who served as the Secretary General of the United Nations from 1997 to 2006? Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan, a Ghanaian diplomat, was the seventh Secretary General of the United Nations, serving 2 terms from 1997 to 2006. He was a co-recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize in 2001 for his dedicated work towards a more organized and peaceful world. The Cutty Sark, built in 1869, was primarily designed to carry what cargo? Tea. The Cutty Sark is a historic clipper ship built in 1869, famous for its speed and role in the tea trade between China and Great Britain. It represents a peak in the design of sailing vessels and is now preserved as a museum ship in Greenwich, London. Who wrote the 1924 poem, Leader and the Swan? W. B. Yeats. W. B. Yeats, a prominent Irish poet and Nobel laureate, penned Leader and the Swan in 1923, published the following year. This powerful poem reinterprets the Greek myth of Leader and Zeus, exploring themes of violence, prophecy, and the impact of divine intervention on human history. Who took over as Governor of the Bank of England on July 1, 2013? Mark Carney. Mark Carney, a Canadian economist, served as the Governor of the Bank of England from 2013 to 2020. Prior to this, he was the Governor of the Bank of Canada. His appointment was a significant event, as he was the first non-Briton to hold the prestigious position. Give any year in which the second, longer-lasting Boer War was fought. 1899 to 1902. The Second Boer War, also known as the South African War, was a major conflict fought between the British Empire and the 2 independent Boer republics, the Orange Free State and the South African Republic, from 1899 to 1902. The war concluded with a British victory and the annexation of the Boer territories. What was the relation of King Stephen to William the Conqueror? Grandson. King Stephen of England, who reigned from 1135 to 1154, was the grandson of William the Conqueror through his mother, Adela of Normandy. His claim to the throne led to a protracted civil war known as the Anarchy, against his cousin, Empress Matilda, who was also William the Conqueror's granddaughter. Which socialist federal republic existed from 1943 until 1992? Yugoslavia. The Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia was a country in Southeast and Central Europe that existed from 1943, following its formation during World War II, until its dissolution in 1992. It was known for its unique form of Titoism, maintaining a non-aligned stance during the Cold War. In which city is the Jacques Cartier Bridge located? Montreal. The Jacques Cartier Bridge is a major steel truss bridge connecting Montreal Island to Longueuil, Quebec, spanning the St. Lawrence River. Opened in 1930, it is a significant part of Montreal's infrastructure and a prominent landmark. What is Brighthelmstone? The old name for Brighton. Brighthelmstone was the original Saxon name for the town now known as Brighton, a popular seaside resort in East Sussex, England. The name evolved over centuries, with Brighton becoming more commonly used by the 18th century as the town grew in prominence. Mount Narodnaya is the highest peak in which mountain range? The Ural Mountains. Mount Narodnaya, also known as Gora Narodnaya, is the highest peak in the Ural Mountains, located in Russia. The Ural Mountains form a natural geographical boundary between Europe and Asia and are known for their rich mineral resources. What items did a cordwainer traditionally make? Shoes. A cordwainer is a shoemaker who works with new leather, deriving their name from cordwain, a type of fine leather originally from Cordoba, Spain. This distinguished them from cobblers, who primarily repaired existing shoes. In which modern country are the ruins of Carthage located? Tunisia. Carthage was an ancient Phoenician city-state located on the Gulf of Tunis, now in modern-day Tunisia. It was a major power in the Mediterranean until its destruction by the Roman Republic in the Third Punic War, leaving behind significant archaeological ruins. Who served as Mitt Romney's running mate in the 2012 United States presidential election? Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan was the Republican vice presidential candidate in the 2012 U.S. presidential election, running alongside presidential nominee Mitt Romney. The Romney-Ryan ticket ultimately lost to the incumbent Democratic ticket of Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Who authored the 1911 novel, The Secret Garden? Frances Hodgson Burnett. Frances Hodgson Burnett was a British-American novelist and playwright, best known for her classic children's novels. The Secret Garden, published in 1911, explores themes of nature's healing power, friendship, and resilience, and remains a beloved work in children's literature. Who was the last Conservative Chancellor of the Exchequer before George Osborne? Kenneth Clarke. Kenneth Clarke served as Chancellor of the Exchequer from 1993 to 1997 under Prime Minister John Major. He was a prominent figure in the Conservative Party and a key architect of the UK's economic policy during that period. What is the county town of Angus? Forfar. Forfar is the county town of Angus, a council area and historic county located in eastern Scotland. County towns historically serve as the administrative and judicial centres for their respective counties or regions. Born in 1902, which British composer is known for works such as Facade and Belshazzar's Feast? Sir William Walton. Sir William Walton was a distinguished British composer of the 20th century, recognized for his diverse contributions to classical music. His notable works include the orchestral work, Facade, and the dramatic oratorio, Belshazzar's Feast, showcasing his innovative style. What is the two-word name of Llandudno's large limestone headland? Great Orme. The Great Orme is a prominent limestone headland on the north coast of Wales, adjacent to the town of Llandudno. It is a significant natural landmark known for its unique geology, diverse wildlife, and historical sites, including ancient copper mines. Which city is at the northern end of the Suez Canal? Port Said. Port Said is a key Egyptian city strategically located at the Mediterranean Sea entrance of the Suez Canal. Its position makes it a crucial port and a vital hub for international maritime traffic and trade between Europe and Asia. What is the Swahili word for journey? Safari. The Swahili word, safari, directly translates to journey or travel. It is widely recognized globally, particularly for expeditions aimed at observing wildlife in its natural habitat, especially across the savannas of East Africa. A cariocan is a native of which city? Rio de Janeiro. A carioca is the traditional demonym used to refer to a person born in the city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This term is deeply embedded in the local culture and identity of the city's inhabitants. If a woman is gravid, what does this term signify? She is pregnant. The term, gravid, is derived from Latin and is used in biology and medicine to describe a female animal carrying developing offspring. It specifically refers to the state of being pregnant or bearing eggs, particularly when the uterus is enlarged. Which sovereign state is unique in being governed by two co-princes, the Bishop of Urgell and the President of France? Andorra. Andorra is a sovereign microstate in Europe with a unique diaconal system of government. Its two co-princes are the Roman Catholic Bishop of Urgell, Spain, and the President of France, reflecting its historical ties in a medieval feudal arrangement that has persisted to modern times. What is the name of the part of a sundial that casts the shadow? Gnomon. The gnomon is the projecting part on a sundial that casts a shadow, indicating the time of day. Its precise alignment and angle are crucial for accurate timekeeping, varying with the sundial's design and geographical latitude. Where are the towns of Ramsey, Peel, and Port Erin located? Isle of Man. Ramsey, Peel, and Port Erin are prominent towns situated on the Isle of Man, a self-governing British Crown dependency located in the Irish Sea. These towns are known for their historical significance, maritime heritage, and natural beauty. According to biblical accounts, who was Adam and Eve's third son? Seth. In the book of Genesis, Seth is identified as the third son of Adam and Eve, born after the death of Abel. He is considered an important patriarch in biblical genealogy, with many significant figures tracing their lineage through him. If 1, 2, and 3 are cardinal numbers, what type of numbers are first, second, and third? Ordinal numbers. Cardinal numbers, e.g., 1, 2, 3, are used for counting and indicate quantity. Ordinal numbers, e.g., first, second, third, indicate position or order in a sequence. Both are fundamental concepts in mathematics and language. Which city's name was among the first words spoken from the moon during the Apollo 11 mission? Houston. The phrase, Houston, tranquility base here. The eagle has landed, was spoken by Neil Armstrong on July 20, 1969, marking humanity's first lunar landing. Houston was the location of NASA's Mission Control Center, making it central to space exploration efforts. The word, Shavian, pertains to the work of which playwright? George Bernard Shaw. The adjective, Shavian, is used to describe or relate to the acclaimed Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw or his literary works. Shaw was a pivotal figure in 20th century theatre, known for his social commentaries and wit, and was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1925. Which poet and playwright's mother wrote under the pen name Speranza? Oscar Wilde. The renowned Irish poet and playwright Oscar Wilde was the son of Jane Francesca Agnes Wilde, who herself was a notable writer. She published under the pen name, Speranza, and was recognized for her poetry and nationalist sentiments. Which U.S. city has a name meaning, the fields? Las Vegas. The name of the U.S. city Las Vegas, Nevada, originates from the Spanish term, Las Vegas, which translates to, the meadows, or, the fields. This nomenclature reflects the presence of abundant wild grasses in the area, historically sustained by artesian springs. What was the original name of the Cape of Good Hope? Cape of Storms. The Cape of Good Hope, located on the southern tip of the Cape Peninsula in South Africa, was initially named Cape of Storms, Cabo das Tormentas, by Portuguese explorer Bartolomeu Dias in 1488. It was later renamed by King John II of Portugal to convey the optimism of finding a new sea route to India. Which tree's leaves are the symbol of the National Trust? Oak. The National Trust, a conservation organization in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, uses the oak leaf as its prominent symbol. The oak tree is deeply embedded in British heritage and represents strength, endurance, and the natural beauty the Trust endeavors to preserve. What is the more common one-word name for the great maple? Sycamore. The tree commonly known as the great maple is more widely referred to as the sycamore. Scientifically known as Acer pseudoplatanus, it is a large deciduous tree prevalent in Europe and is recognizable by its large, lobed leaves and distinctive winged seeds. The famous French wine Chablis is made mainly from which grape variety? Chardonnay. Chablis is a distinguished white wine produced in the northernmost wine district of Burgundy, France. Uniquely, it is made exclusively from Chardonnay grapes, yielding a crisp, dry wine known for its minerality and high acidity, characteristics influenced by the region's Chimerogen soil. Chianti wine comes from which region of Italy? Tuscany. Chianti is a celebrated red wine that originates from the Chianti region in Tuscany, Italy. Primarily made from Sangiovese grapes, it is one of Italy's most iconic wines, deeply woven into the cultural fabric and culinary traditions of Tuscany. Which Persian king invaded Greece to punish Athens? Darius. Darius I, also known as Darius the Great, was a Persian king who led the first Persian invasion of Greece. His campaign aimed to punish Athens and Eretria for their support of the Ionian revolt against Persian rule, culminating in the Battle of Marathon in 490 BCE. The Hungarian national dish goulash is chiefly flavored with which spice? Paprika. Paprika is the quintessential spice in Hungarian cuisine, derived from ground dried bell peppers. It is the defining ingredient for goulash, providing its characteristic red color and a flavor profile that can range from sweet to pungent. Truvor in Turkey is the site of which ancient city? Troy. Truvor, located in present-day Turkey, is the archaeological site widely recognized as the ancient city of Troy. This legendary city is central to Homer's epic poem, the Iliad, which recounts the events of the Trojan War. The American woodchuck or whistle pig is also known by what name? Groundhog. The woodchuck, Marmota monarchs, a large ground squirrel, is commonly known by several names, including whistle pig due to its warning calls. It is most widely recognized as the groundhog, particularly famous for its role in the annual Groundhog Day tradition in North America. Which South American rodent yields what is said to be the most expensive fur? Chinchilla. Chinchillas are small, crepuscular rodents native to the Andes Mountains in South America. They are highly prized for their extremely soft and dense fur, which has historically been considered one of the most luxurious and expensive furs globally. In heraldry, what term describes a figure lying with its head erect? Cushion. Heraldry is the system of designing and displaying coats of arms and other armorial bearings, important in historical and cultural studies. The term, cushion, in heraldry specifically describes an animal depicted lying down with its head raised, often looking forward. Which mythical hero had a horse called Xanthus? Achilles. In Greek mythology, Xanthus was one of the two immortal horses of Achilles, the central figure of Homer's Iliad during the Trojan War. Xanthus, along with his brother Balius, was capable of speech and prophecy, serving as a significant companion to the hero. In heraldry, what term describes a figure walking? Passant. Heraldry is a historical system of identification through coats of arms, often involving specific postures for animals. Passant is a heraldic term describing an animal, typically a lion or other beast, shown walking with one paw raised, usually moving towards the viewer's left, the dexter side. A poem of 1735 saw the origin of which devoted couple? Darby and Joan. The phrase, Darby and Joan, originates from a poem titled, The Joys of Love Never Forgot, a song, published in 1735 by Henry Norris. It refers to an elderly, loving, and devoted married couple, symbolizing enduring marital affection and contentment. If a doctor administered the Ishihara test, for what condition would they be testing you? Color blindness. The Ishihara test is a widely recognized color perception test used to diagnose red-green color deficiencies, commonly known as color blindness. It consists of a series of pseudoisochromatic plates, each displaying a number or a path composed of dots of different colors and sizes. An ovoid object is shaped like what? An egg. An ovoid shape describes an object that is three-dimensional and resembles the general shape of an egg. This geometric form is typically broader at one end and tapers towards the other, characterized by its smooth, curved surface. Who was the scholastic philosopher known for his tragic love affair with Héloïse d'Argenteuil? Peter Abelard. Peter Abelard was a leading scholastic philosopher and theologian of the 12th century. His passionate and tragic affair with his student, Héloïse d'Argenteuil, while he was a canon at Notre Dame, is one of the most famous intellectual romances in history. Their extensive correspondence has survived and offers unique insights into medieval thought and personal lives. In a Cartesian coordinate system, if the y-coordinate is called the ordinate, what is the x-coordinate called? Abscissa. In a two-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system, the x-coordinate is known as the abscissa, representing the horizontal distance from the origin. The y-coordinate is called the ordinate, indicating the vertical distance. These terms are fundamental to plotting points and understanding graphs in mathematics and science. What is the geometric term for a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides? Trapezium. A trapezium, or trapezoid in American English, is a quadrilateral characterized by having at least one pair of parallel sides. The parallel sides are called bases, and the non-parallel sides are called legs. This geometric shape is commonly encountered in various mathematical problems and real-world applications. What ultimately happens to the cherry orchard at the conclusion of Anton Chekhov's play of the same title? It is chopped down. At the conclusion of Anton Chekhov's final play, The Cherry Orchard, the beloved cherry orchard is ultimately chopped down. This act symbolizes the irreversible societal changes and the decline of the Russian aristocracy at the turn of the 20th century. The play explores themes of social mobility, financial distress, and the struggle to adapt to a changing world. Which Indian dish derives its name from the Hindi word for bucket? Balti. The Indian dish, balti, derives its name from the Hindi word, balti, which means bucket. This refers to the traditional deep, two-handled metal pot, similar to a small wok or bucket, in which the curry is both cooked and served. Balti dishes are particularly popular in the UK, where they were developed as a distinctive style of curry. In his famous diary, what did Samuel Pepys refer to as jucolate? Chocolate. In his renowned diary, Samuel Pepys, a key figure of 17th century English society, referred to chocolate as jucolate or jocolate. This detail provides insight into the early introduction and perception of chocolate in England, which was then a novel and often exotic beverage. Pepys's diary offers invaluable first-hand accounts of Restoration-era life, politics, and culture. Which country declared war on Britain in 1812? USA. The United States of America declared war on Great Britain in 1812, leading to the conflict known as the War of 1812. The war was primarily caused by British impressment of American sailors, trade restrictions during the Napoleonic Wars, and British support for Native American resistance against American expansion. This conflict solidified American national identity and significantly impacted US-British relations.